looking at me. Anyway.
Okay.
I'll come over there.
Okay.
First thing I need to do.
Hold on, we
just
don't
look
want
at
his
me.
license plate. We don't want his license plate on camera.
I'm by myself. Give me your name and spell it for me.
Eddie Contreras, EDDIE CONTRERAS.
Okay, and you are an uncle?
Yes.
Exactly. What happened? It happened in the evening on Sunday?
Yes. Yeah, approximately 5 o'clock on Sunday evening. My nephew was really excited. Him and my other nephew working on the vehicle for the past couple days. Saturday and Sunday, super excited about completing it. He kind of bought a lemon. So, with some handiwork, and some good mechanic work, they got it going. And, Jake was super excited about getting his car running for the next day. And so they wanted to do an oil change. And, of course, it was late. It was getting dark. And so, they requested to use the neighbor's house, to use their garage. And, they were there. And there's 5 shots, shot in the direction where they were at. And, he did duck. He tried to, get down, and unfortunately, hit him in his chest. So, it's just we're at a loss for words. We're, devastated as a family. So, just tough.
I mean, they were saying he possibly was a gang member, but it's not true.
It's not. It's not. That's what I thank you guys for the opportunity. Actually, he's not a gang member. He's a wonderful young man. I'm not just saying that because of where I'm at right now. It's just, he's 24 years old. He had a young baby boy and a fiance. It's probably been quoted, but I'm a pastor, so I was actually very blessed. He had talked to me a few months back and said, "Hey, Uncle, I want you to marry us at the beach." And I said, "Man, we can make that happen." And he's like, "You sure?" And I said, "Oh yeah, we can do whatever you want. We can do that." And so he told his fiance, "Hey, my uncle can marry us at the beach." And so he's just honestly, he's a forgiving, very loving young man. He was raised by a fantastic family, which instilled in him not only first of all godly values. Actually, we're come from a large Christian background, and he's just a loving young man, and he forgiving. I guarantee if he was here, he'd probably be mad at whoever it was, but I think he'd also extend the same mercy and grace that we were extended, one time in our life as well. So,
how does it make it feel? I mean, he was shot and he was on top of the world. He was getting everything he wanted.
Yeah, he was. Like I said, we're devastated. I mean, Jake, I call this, he's a hustler. He got his hands dirty to get what he needed. When he came to work like that, he sought out, family members, uncles, aunts. Hey, I'll do something, hey, I'll cut your lawn, I'll go help you out. And that's what the first thing about him was, hey, you need a hand, I'm here to give you a hand. So, it's just, again, like I said, we're devastated because, he's so young, and he like you said, he was, he was doing all the right things. He was doing everything that he could, to just make a positive life for him and his family.
Well, now you guys are having problems to bury him. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, so we're reaching out. We have a GoFund for him that we've already have initiated. A lot of people have been fantastic. Our church, Christian Worship Center here in Manteca, has donated money. All of our family members have come together, and we're raising money, amongst each other, doing the best that we can. We have, family and friends. I mean, we live here in Manteca, but we actually come from Bay Area, Hayward, so we have so many friends and family that are just, again, just like us. And we're asking for help, for donations, for anything, for anybody who can lend a hand and reach out and give Jake and his family a hand so we can just lay his body to rest. We know he's with the Lord right now, celebrating with our, with my in-laws and my mom and my poppy, and he's up there. But we have to take care of this first. So we can put him back to rest.
If you could talk to those guys that shot him, what would you say to them?
I would honestly, I would repeat those same words, that forgiveness and mercy and grace and salvation are offered to you as well. It hurts. We don't want retaliation. We don't want nothing like that. We want them to know that we lost a brother, a son, you know, a nephew, a grandchild. I mean, you know, a lot. We lost a lot. But at the same time, we want to offer that same mercy and grace and forgiveness to them, you know, that we can, because we're missing them. We're missing them. And it's a lot. It's a tough loss for us. But we want them to know that grace and mercy is extended to them as well, and salvation is offered to them.
What is his name and spelling? That way we have it correctly.
Jake, Jake, Velasquez, Velazquez.
And you guys are from the Bay Area?
Yes, we are. Yeah, he was born in Hayward, California. We all, you know, like I said, we spent a lot of years there. Large family, very loving family. We're, you know, like I said, Christian background, and you know, hey, we're not perfect, but we know God loves us, and we know God loves them, and God loved Jake. And I tell you what, Jake had the love of God in his life, and he extended that to all those who needed it.
Well, Jake sounds like he's an automatic angel.
I think so. I believe. I will tell you what. When he came into our life, he wasn't just. He didn't just take to one. He took to all of us. And so we all had. I think why it hurts so much is because we all had. He was such a large part of each and every one of our lives, and in many different ways. You know, like his sister is my niece and his cousin, but yet more like a sister. And my kids were raised with him. You know, for 5 years, and he lived with us, and and Jake was the kind of kid, if you would drive you crazy and make you mad, but you just loved him because he would just smile and just say, okay, Uncle, whatever you need. So, and that's how he was. He was respectful, and he knew how to honor and respect his elders.
Let me check here real quick.